The Aurora's arrived in Dubrovnik nice and early, breakfast before the sun comes out. We're taking the shuttle bus to Old Town. I'm excited to get there. I love Dubrovnik, and I think you and your friends who cruise will too. This is where we're going to start, the queue to get into the Old Town. Inside the city, there's a wealth of interest, with many historical buildings and monuments from the 13th century onwards. We enter through the Pearl Gate at the western end and straightway see the large Onofrio fountain with its 6 carved heads. It was built about 1440 by Onofrio di Giordano della Cava. With 4 ships in port today, the main street is very crowded. The nearby Franciscan Monastery has a museum attached. It has very attractive cloisters, but there is a charge to view them. Within the monastery complex is one of the oldest pharmacies in Europe. It dates from 1317. Dubrovnik is considered the jewel in the Adriatic coastline, and it seems that today the buzzword is Game of Thrones. If you're a Game of Thrones fan, you'll be in your element. You might like to watch our dedicated Game of Thrones film on Doris Visits. This main street, called Straden, is a lovely wide street for pedestrians, and the houses on it date back to the 17th century, and it runs from Pargate to Ploesgate. The side streets are charming, a delight to wander through, with plenty of small cafes, restaurants and gift shops. The restaurants serve mainly pizza and pasta, but you'll find it hard not to be tempted by the delicious ice cream. The birds here remind me of the beautiful doves we saw in Rome. Around Lutzer Square at the end of Plaza are several beautiful buildings. In the square is the Rector's Palace, Sponsor's Palace and St Blaise's Church. St Blaise's Church dates from 1714. According to medieval legend, St Blaise appeared in a vision to warn Ragusa of an impending attack by the Venetians, and so the city was saved. This is the most important building in Old Dubrovnik. Welcome to the Rector's Palace. The state offices were on the ground floor and the rector lived here. Onofrio, the man who built the fountain, began the building in 1435. The Dubrovnik Museum is now housed here. Across from the Rector's Palace is the Cathedral. This is the 3rd cathedral on this site. The 2nd was destroyed in an earthquake in 1667. You're never more than a few minutes away from the sea. In the harbour, the water is crystal clear and the sun bounces off it like sparkling diamonds. It has a very relaxing feel. There are plenty of opportunities to just stop, have a drink, something to eat, watch the boats, as well as walk around the walls, which we're going to do next. This garden rooftop restaurant is very well situated, with friendly staff. These are the famous Spanish steps from Game of Thrones where they did the head chopping off. Great excitement today. A Japanese film crew are here, making a reenactment. Pity about the wig. The Church of St Ignatius at the top of the Spanish Steps is so beautiful inside, we thought it was worth its own film. You can check it out on www.dorisvisits.com. Also, check out the very different views you get from the 1¼ mile walk along the top of the walls of the city. You can find this on our other film of Dubrovnik, on Doris Visits. It does have a real Game of Thrones feel to it. Not only did they film on the steps, but they filmed along the walls. There's so much to do in Dubrovnik. We've never been tempted by the cable car because you can walk around the wall and you can see the whole city. But if you have mobility issues, it's a good option. If you've done Dubrovnik before and you just fancy a chill, there are some lovely secluded beaches. You may just want to sunbathe by the beautiful Adriatic Sea. There are beaches with changing facilities, or more private ones. We finished off here with 2 small beers, 4 times the cost of Zadar, daylight robbery, but we had a lovely day.